Well, good morning.
Morning.
Today is September 27th, 2021. We are at about 10 minutes after 10. And we are welcoming our public, the citizens of Lamarque, into our first official negotiation between the city of Lamarque and the International Association of Firefighters, number 3282. In the effort that this council has put forward to have a transparent government, we have decided to make all of our negotiations with police and with fire open to the public and in a way that you can view it from the privacy of your own home. And so with that being said, we'll start. First and foremost, we'll go around the room and we will introduce ourselves and we will state which side of the negotiating team we represent. And my name is Keith Bell. I'm the mayor of this city, certainly representing the citizens of this city with the city of Lamarque.
I'm Patty Reese, Human Resource Coordinator, taking minutes / notes.
Chase Carey, the interim city manager for the city of Lamarque.
Gus Knable, I'm the interim city attorney and I'm an associate at Mill Shirley here in Galveston County.
Jody Martinez, president of Local 3282, representing all members of Local 3282.
Brennan Briggs, interim treasurer of Local 3282.
David Merriman, I'm the interim fire chief for the city of Lamarque.
And Susie Koo, finance director for the city of Lamarque.
We're gonna thank you all. Welcome for coming. Certainly, we honor our firefighters and the members of our fire department. We're excited about what you're doing, and certainly we're supporting you in every way we possibly can. We owe you a debt of gratitude for the work that you've done on behalf of our community. And I wanted that to be clear up front. A housekeeping item, those of us on this side of the table are used to talking into these microphones, and I can almost guarantee you, folks will make sure that we are speaking clearly. So you may have to bring it up to you, and through the mask, you may have to speak very clearly because sometimes there's trouble with folks understanding what we're saying at home. So make sure you speak very clearly into the mic as possible. We're going to allow Gus from the city side to begin our negotiations.
Sure. Thank you, Mayor. So to begin with, my name is Gus Knable. I'm the interim city attorney representing the city of Lamarque in these negotiations. We'll start with some ground rules. We'll have, once we get to a break, we'll have something that we can to pass around that you can review in more detail, but just something to start with. As far as the collective bargaining teams, each party shall have a bargaining team consisting of no more than 10 members. Our bargaining team is myself, Mr. Carey, Mayor Keith Bell, Susie Koo to assist on financial issues, and Patty Reese. It's moving to the, as far as if in the event of a member of the bargaining team's absence, that member cedes authority to the other members of that bargaining team to make decisions on their behalf. Moving to the deadline for proposals, no later than the third meeting, we would ask that any proposals be presented to us for review. We will, of course, do the same. Failing to present that does not necessarily preclude negotiation on that topic in the future, though. As far as tentative agreements are concerned, once we reach a tentative agreement on a new or existing article, the agreement shall be reduced into writing. It shall be signed by the chief spokesperson / negotiator for each party. Each of those individuals shall maintain a copy of all tentative agreements reached. And while the parties acknowledge the agreements are tentative and shall only become final if an agreement is reached on all articles and all topics subject to this negotiation. Of course, these ground rules can be amended at any time. These bargaining while they may be amended at any time, those amendments would need to be signed by both parties. Each bargaining session will be held during normal business hours, and the bargaining sessions will not exceed 8 hours unless mutually agreed. Either party during the time of these negotiations can call a caucus to discuss the proposal amongst their members. And we can come back. These meetings are open. These are open meetings pursuant to the chapter 174 of the local government code, as the mayor has discussed. We are choosing to stream them and record them for purposes so that the citizens can view what the government is doing. Both parties shall have a right to record this. We will make our recording, the city's recording will be made available to the fire department or to the union. All we'd ask is if you want a copy, just ask us. If you want to consider a rolling request, that's fine. Just let us know. The parties will agree to negotiate on all topics in good faith, and will each strive to reach a mutual agreement consistent with chapter 174 of the local government code. And both sides will provide copies of all economic data with discussions of the issues. All requests for documents shall be maintained by the city and processed in accordance with the Texas Public Information Act, but we will, to the extent we will try to expedite those requests. Finally, or also when the bargaining teams reach a tentative agreement on all proposals, the agreements will be compiled for the city council and the association members for ratification. And upon ratification by the council and the union members, the agreement shall be binding. And finally, what I would also say is for purposes of these negotiations, that side of the table represents the union, this side of the table represents the city. As the mayor and council would say, I mean, anybody is free to reach out to the mayor or the council. What we would ask is that the negotiations on this CBA occur with this group. We, of course, will respect the same. CBA negotiations will go through you, Captain Martinez, and you, Captain Briggs, and I guess and that's all we have right now. So if y'all want to introduce yourselves and
Sure. Again, Joe Martinez, President of Local 3282. The stuff we're talking about here, of course, has been, brought to our table and voted on and agreed upon on our side already. So we're also as transparent as we can be as well. We just jump right into this, I guess. Especially what.
yeah. If you want us to begin, I'd be happy to.
Sure.
Sure. Okay. So and Mr. Carey and Mayor Bell will speak to this as well. As everyone is aware, approximately 2-3 months ago, the entire executive management of the city of Lamarque, Texas, walked out with between 0 and 24 hours notice. Obviously, once that occurred, the city needed to continue to operate. Chief among those issues facing the city was a budget that is statutorily mandated and by Lamarque charter must be done before October 1. During that, the Lamarque City Council conducted, I believe, 5 days of budget hearings that the public was invited to. I know Chief Merriman attended, and I'm not saying he attended on the union's behalf. I'm just saying he attended. Every department was invited and in fact did speak to council. So right now we are faced with a position or faced with an issue facing us. And what is somewhat different from this negotiation. And other negotiations is that normally the police chief, who in the city of Lamarck and in most cities is not a CBA employee, he would be on the management side. Not to advise management on issues facing the police department and advise management on proposals, both operate from an operations perspective.
Fire department.
The fire department, I apologize. I apologize. Unfortunately, in this case, the fire chief was one of those individuals who left. And while Mr. Carey is in the process of posting a fire chief position, we don't have one right now. We have an interim fire chief, Chief David Merriman, who is a member of the union. We felt, and we appreciate Chief Merriman's candor in raising the issue to us. We felt that it would be extremely unfair to even ask him to advise us against members of his own union. It would not, as the mayor has mentioned on countless occasions, we are trying to move the city forward, and we felt that not only was it unfair, it invited the possibility of discord amongst the union, which is not something that we wanted to do. So after speaking with Mr. Carey and the mayor, we would like to propose an extension to the CBA. During that time, we could continue to negotiate on some issues, but the chief point of that extension would be to allow the city of Lamarck, Texas to hire a full-time fire chief so that we can adequately, so that we can respond and not have to rely on a union member to give us advice on those issues. And again, we appreciate Chief Merriman, and we do not think we do not think that he is not perfectly capable of doing that. But if this were a legal case, Mr. Chief Merriman would have what would be called an unwaivable conflict of interest, and we felt that it would not be fair. So that's kind of our initial proposal where we would like to go. I'll let Mr. Carey or Mayor Bell say anything, and then we'll respond.
Sure. As Gus just stated, over the last couple months of, there are many other issues that we've been going through, and we thought that it would be best for both sides, not only the city, but for, the fire department, to basically get an agreed extension of the current CBA for the betterment of all of us. Mayor, if you want to speak to that.
Yeah, I think for us as a council and as a community, certainly, again, we value the effort that you all have put forth countless times, even this past year, certainly with Winter Storm Uri, with what this community and you all more than even the rest of us had to deal with COVID and with members of your department succumbing to certain illnesses. And even with Hurricane Nicholas here just recently, you all have stepped up. You've done more than your share. This has been a difficult time for all of us, including you. And we thank you for that. The goal now is for us to reach a place of stability. And that has to start with management. We have to make sure that there is a level of stability in management that would be capable of moving this city forward. And that's the first thing that we have to get accomplished. But then there needs to be some stability within the members as well, within your members, right? You all have been a part of this whole endeavor because it was your department head that resigned. And so that can make any group unstable. And so we want to provide you all an opportunity to reach a level of stability as well. You can't do that without having a clear understanding of who your leader will be. may or may not be Mr. Merriman. We don't know that yet. That's something that Chase will have to figure out. And then there needs to be some stability in the members of our community as we rally around each other to move the city forward. And so the only fair thing for us, I would say, would be to make sure that we are providing you all with stability, whether that's 6 months or a year. Right now, let's try to resolve these issues so that we can move forward in a way that we would be able to accommodate as much as possible your requests as well as the requests of our community. So the word for us is stability, and we hope that we can find common ground in that. Doesn't mean that we won't continue to negotiate. Just means that we need something in writing now, and then we can move past this even on a regular basis to continue to negotiate.
I agree. I think we agree. And first of all, thank you. We appreciate the recognition that our members, and a fun fact that 99% of the people at local 3282 or the fire department as a whole that are eligible to be a part of the labor union are. Everybody that is eligible is a part of our table. So we represent quite a few people. And this is very important to every one of them equally, as their livelihood is at stake here with this. And we want y'all to understand that as well as us. The extension we have talked about as a whole, and we also agree that with just the uncertain times, the instability that currently does exist, we believe both on our side and your side that we could get a better outcome and a more stable environment to start doing some of the greater parts of important to negotiations as far as the contract's concerned. As for now, our really only real concern with the extension would be our COLAs that are in here, and they're listed for 3 years. And while we're not agreeing to extend this for 3 years as if it's a whole new contract, the first year, and you can look, I can pass this around if I need to, at 2%, we'd like to keep that as if we did just renew this contract. Even though we haven't, we don't want to lose, because of the unfortunate circumstances on both sides, we don't want to lose at that 2% just based on that alone. You think of any more conditions as far as, okay. And in general, we'd like, the contract to just stay as is, open, valid for the period of that extension until we can conduct our negotiations and in its entirety and get it signed. Until then, though, this is sort of our little insurance policy, if you will.
Sure.
That's really all we're asking as far as a condition on the extension agreement.
Sure. Let me ask Ms. Koo. I know that she has through this budgeted for COLA. And so I want to get from her whether or not she included the fire group in that 2%. Would you speak into the microphone, Ms. Susie, please? Thank you.
Yes, sir. I did include that, the 2% for both police and fire and the rest of the employees. Now, also, last Friday, we had a meeting, and of course, council passed a tax rate of 55 cents. However, because we exceeded the voter approval rate, there is a 90 days, and we don't know how that's going to turn out, whether or not there's going to be enough signatures. If there is, which triggers an election, and that's going to be a May election, we may end up with another tax rate, not 55 cents, but 47 cents. So regardless, we will try our best to not reverse that COLA for everyone, because we know how important it is for not just the fire department, but also police and the rest of the employees. And that's cost of living adjustments. So that I'll do the best I can, not impacting that, but the reversal, that is up to the citizens. And by December 23rd, we should know how that's gonna go. So these 90 days, everything is up in the air. Okay, so there are a lot of uncertainties. So it is what it is.
So you're speaking to the 2% that all departments would get, whether they have contract negotiations or not, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, I'm speaking to this specific contract for the union, and it's 2%.
Mhm.
This is the one I'm speaking to. Just to, again, I'll explain it again. We want to be able to keep this particular page in our contract the way it is for the next year or 6 months, however long it is until we come back to start negotiations. We don't want to miss out on this page because we're signing an extension, basically.
And that page, Mr. Martinez,
And I can't
says
pass it around.
it speaks to a 2% raise.
For the first year, based on a 3-year
Right.
contract.
Yeah, our COLAs are put in there as steps. It's 2% the first year, 2.5, 3, and then would start over whenever we sign the next 3-year agreement or however many years we decided to sign it for.
Okay, so y'all are basically proposing that this year, for this contract year, if we extended a year, that y'all would receive 2%.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and that's Susie is saying she's already budgeted for you all to receive 2%.
Okay, I thought she included that ours and the potential cities based on the tax issue.
Oh, yeah, I get what you're
see
saying.
what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Okay.
what Jody's, I'm sorry, what Mr. Martinez is saying, we know Miss Jody, but for purposes of this public meeting, what Mr. Martinez is saying is he wants to make sure that we understand that regardless of a potential rollback, if it's negotiated in the contract, then we have to make sure that we accommodate and follow the
Okay.
contract.
That's fine.
Did that get
Yes,
it for you?
that's,
Okay.
yeah, exactly, yes.
I'm gonna walk around. Try not to throw over all these wires.
So outside of that, Mr. Martinez and Mr. Briggs, if that is something that this side understands and agrees to, well, would you all be interested in signing a year extension?
I think that's what our membership pretty much came to agreement on. We would like to extend, typically, we would have started these negotiations back in July, but again, we all know
Sure.
the turn of events since then.
Right, and that actually was scheduled.
So we were hoping to extend it, although it is almost October now, extend it to July of 22
Okay.
and treat 2022 as if it would have been this year's negotiation.
Just
So
start over.
started in July like we're supposed to,
Gotcha.
and then move into trying to get something signed by October of 22.
I think that's a good proposal because that gives Chase a chance to not only hire a fire chief, but also that fire chief gets a chance to, get to know you guys, get to know the department. So it doesn't put that person in a rush as to trying to advise us on how to proceed.
Yes, we definitely think that it could go a lot more smooth for both sides. Mayor, like you mentioned, with stability, that hopefully will be there by that time.
Absolutely.
Excuse me, does that mean you're starting negotiations in July of 22 again? Is that what he's, I'm sorry.
Yes,
That's
that
what
would
we're
be
proposing, yeah.
the proposal, yes.
Gus?
Okay, well, I mean, I think that, I think obviously we'll have to caucus on that briefly. I think though, we should have an answer for you pretty quickly, just again, so I'm clear. This would be a 1-year extension. The COLAs that are in the current agreement, the 2% would apply. I believe as Ms. Koo has already said, those are in the budget. So that's good. Then, yeah, I think we have what we need to talk amongst ourselves briefly. If y'all want to give us maybe 10, 15 minutes.
Sure.
We'll talk amongst ourselves. We can figure out where we'll go to do that. So. We all.
Like,
Crystal.
Hello. We are back in our negotiating session, the city of Lamarck and the International Association of Firefighters Local 3282. We have come back from our caucus to consider a one-year extension of the existing contract, ensuring all elements of the contract remain intact, as well as a 2% cost of living increase for our firefighters. And so I'll give it back to Gus this morning. Gus?
Hi, okay, so as the mayor has discussed, we met to discuss your proposal to continue to continue the current CBA for a year with a 2% COLA that is was in the prior CBA, and that COLA will be applied to the October 1 through September 30th fiscal year, or 2022 fiscal year. We agree with that. So we will we will prepare or I will prepare a tentative / final agreement that will need to be signed by your union. It will need to go to the city council for approval as well. The next city council meeting is October 11th. Before that time, I want to say by Friday, I will get a draft of that agreement extension to the union for your review and comment. Any changes, let me know by all means. And we can move forward with both hiring a new police chief and move forward with the next year.
And the new fire chief.
Fire chief, sorry, fire chief. I apologize. Have the police tomorrow. Yeah.
I don't think they care about
Yeah,
a new
no.
police chief, Gus.
No, yeah, no, sorry about that. Fire chief. And like I said, we appreciate y'all's professionalism in these negotiations,
Likewise.
and I think that's all we have.
We'll go with that.
Good deal. Good deal. All right, guys. So our next part to this is to bring it back to council, right, for approval. You guys take it to your union so that you all can get approval and we can get this signed and we can move forward.
Okay,
Just let us know. Let's
All
go
right.
in.
sounds good.
All right, guys.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.